Melody Bell, and Belden all over on the inside. It's Melody Bell in front, and Melody Bell, too good, wins the Sires. He loved it on the line. Melody Bell, high flyer in our Aberdeen. Melody Bell, she is so tough. But Melody Bell in front, she has been way too good. So then look at Melody Bell fly at the line. Melody Bell's won it for Troy Harris.
You'll never see what's hiding out deep down.
Melody Bell, she is your favourite. They're off. It is Melody Bell in front with 150 metres to go. Winspell finishing hard, Consensus having another go. But here it is, 5 Group 1s for the Glamour Girl, and Melody Bell wins.
Ring any bells? It should. Five Group 1s now for Melody Bell, and she's the headline act, obviously, on a busy show today. Curious day on the calendar, Bruce Ewan, because we had Mata Mata Premier Day, but the Group 1 was down the line at Old Taki, and of course changing track conditions to take into account as well.
Yeah, splitting the resources, but good to see the good horses winning. Melody Bell, terrific. Track conditions, we can't control the weather. It was unfortunate to strike wet tracks at both venues, but still good racing.
Seismic shift of seat here for Sheldon Murtha.
It's shifting comfortable
there.
I tell you what, it's definitely jacked up. You know how he always goes on about how tall he is? There's a wedge in here. Unless that was Alicia from last week. No, I'm feeling a lot taller and a lot more chatty this morning. I think it was early, but I inadvertently think I chatted up the air hostess on the flight this morning just to get in. But I'm not sure about this, but she did give me a couple of answers to the quiz. But I didn't get a number or anything. So, but anyway, we'll see what happens. We'll sort of stretch out and do something a bit different this time.
Yeah, upgrade to the Ferrari driving out here too.
I tried that. I tried for the upgrade to the Aston Martin, but they did give me a hybrid Toyota Corolla, which was pretty racy.
And you went zoom.
Yeah.
If you're wondering who we're talking about, we're missing Michael Guerin this morning, but I'm here in Sheldon's
seat. Well, I'm not missing him,
but it's a pleasure to work with Sheldon Murtha again. That means we've worked together in consecutive millenniums now.
We both look it.
Yeah. Let's get to the Group 1 from yesterday. It was the Hanui Farm Weight for Age, 1,600 metres on a track that ended up as a slow 8, initially a slow 7, but well a slow 8. Straight into it. Here's Melody Bell wide without cover, but still too good for what was a very good edition of this race.
Shadows cast, more wonder behind these. They run for the money line here. Bostonian, Melody Bell out wide though. She's ranged up and hit the lead. Winspell on the inside. Consensus fighting hard. More wonder and shadows cast. It is Melody Bell in front with 150 metres to go. Winspell finishing hard. Consensus having another go. But here it is. 5 Group 1s for the Glamour Girl, and Melody Bell wins. Winspell second. Third, I'm not sure. More wonder, Consensus.
And how appropriate it was, the Haunui Farm Weight for Age Group 1 Classic going to the Haunui Farm graduate Melody Bell. She jumped from a wider gate, but it was clearly no disadvantage the way the track was riding. They'll chart a path away from the inside. Sectionals on the right of screen there, thanks to Neil Davis at Form Pro. One of the quickest of the day towards the end of the card. So that's what you'd expect from these good gallopers. Consensus deliberately stays the widest in taking her lead in the black colours ahead of the Australian Endless Drama, who was disappointing. It's in the maroon colours. The blue colours of Bostonian just got a little keen in third. I guess there's a query whether he ran the strong mile. He's won a Sunshine Coast Guineas, but at Weight for Age, he just might be a query at the trip. Melody Bell, 3 wide. In fact, wider, given the way the track was playing. It was no trouble sitting wider, in fact, an advantage. More wonder, the 3-year-old. He will back up in the Derby. He's run well in 4th. He's the widest in the red. I thought Shadows Cast was very good, given his wet track record. And Winspell chanced that inside run and it nearly paid off. He's run a great race for second in the pink colours. That's his first ever placing on a slow to heavy track, but a dominant performance, and I thought better than her last start win, Sheldon.
It's just amazing how she keeps fronting up with these runs, and yesterday 3 wide the entire trip, so there must have been serious confidence with Opie, the way that they attacked the race. They thought, well, we're just the best horse in the race, so we're just going to keep trucking 3 wide, and never really looked in doubt. The only one that I thought in transit might give her a bit of a hurry up was More Wonder. But he just couldn't peel off her back and finish it off. But he might be getting rid. He'll be fit for the Derby. But
well, he followed her at every step. But when she quickened off the turn, he just couldn't go with her. He dropped a couple of lengths there and was unable to pick it back. He's still run great.
Melody Bell backed in 260. We expected that, but the runners-up, well, second and third place getters, they blew out big time. Windspell nearly doubled in quote.
Well, he wasn't confident before the race.
No. Track conditions were the worry, weren't they?
That's right, he said he's got no form, serious doubts. And a lot of horses yesterday at Otaki were actually cutting the corner quite effectively despite the track and getting into the race at the right time. And he was, you know, one of those with a wee bit of class that was capable of cashing in on putting a couple of links on the opposition around the corner.
Trainer of Melody Bell is Jamie Richards. I hope Jamie doesn't remember this, but the last time and the only time I've interviewed Jamie Richards was as a 17-year-old. He just won an amateur riders race at Te Oamaru. Jamie, very good morning. Just wondering if you've come up with any more adjectives for your marvellous mare.
No, I think we'll just let her do the talking. Her, you know, the record that she's been able to put together this year is quite incredible, and very proud of her.
Jamie, yesterday's run, obviously 3 wide without cover, and we've talked about how it was probably a day for that. Was that a plan?
Opie said he wanted to be positive, and, you know, just, I don't really organise him. He just, he's a fabulous rider, and, yeah, he didn't want to be back in the field and have to make a long, sustained sort of run. He said he wanted to be there, and, you know, as it worked out, it was the right place to be, but, you know, 3 deep, no cover. She hasn't finished off a couple of races when she's raced like that, so it was a little bit of a concern, but yeah, she's really gone to another level this season.
Jamie, I guess the big question now is what next, and is Australia in those thoughts?
I don't think so. Bruce, more than likely, she'll be headed to the Spelling Paddock for a good break. She can sort of have 8 weeks now, March and April off, back in May, and you know, follow a similar sort of program as she did last spring, and you know, would really like to give the Hastings Triple Crown a real good shake.
Having a look at Matamata also, Jamie, well done there with the slipper. Equinox, I guess he was a disappointment. Was that the track conditions?
I think it was the track. Bruce, he was sort of under the pump a long way from home. He couldn't really hold his spot across the top. He's a much better horse than that, and you know, his work had been really good leading into it, so we'll just put it down to the track and press on quietly and see how we get on. And
what's your team looking like for the 2 Group 1 2-year-olds going forward, the Sistema at Ellerslie and the Size Produce?
The Sistema could be those 3 boys from yesterday, and they'll probably all, you know, if Equinox was to come through it okay, there'd be no reason why he wouldn't go there. And then the 1400 metre race, that is sort of the plan with your deal and Aotea Lad. And we'll just sort of work it out. We might be able to find something in between times, hopefully.
Jamie, did your deal jump up the picking order in your mind yesterday, you think?
Oh, for sure. He's, you know, his run in the Cracker Million was huge. Yeah. He didn't have any cover. He sort of made a long, sustained run at them, and you know, he'd come out of the race in a really good order. It had improved for 3 or 4 days in the paddock, and his work sort of suggested that he'd really improved. So, you know, sort of a little bit cautious before the race, but he ran right up to his track work, and you know, he's really improving and getting better as we get further into the season with a bit more maturity.
And I thought you wouldn't jump off Aotea Lad yet, would you? Did he get a bump on the corner in that race that put him off? Because he seemed to be travelling just as good as anything around the corner.
Michael just said that he wasn't really comfortable in the track. Thought he kept up a good gallop all the way to the line and tried hard. So he'll improve for 2 weeks' time. He's a cross-doing sort of little horse. He does well, and that'll tighten him up nicely. Whereas, you know, your deal's a athletic sort of, you know, naturally fit horse. So I think Aotea Lad will come on for that as well.
Jamie, you're having a hell of a season, currently leading the premiership by 1 over Murray Baker and Andrew Forsman, and the stakes wins past 50 last week. Can you believe how good it's gone?
I think, you know, obviously we set some goals at the start of the season, but to be here where we are last week of February is, you know, credit to the staff that we've got here with us, and you know, obviously David Ellis is such a big, important part of it, buying all of these beautiful horses for us to train. You know, to buy Melody Bell for 57.5, and you know, find some value there at the sales as well is just quite incredible.
Just lastly from me, Jamie, you're talking about Melody Bell not going to Australia in the immediate future. Is it a place that, you know, she possibly needs to go to just to put that black type on the board in Australia as well as New Zealand, or not?
At some stage, for sure. She is a Group 2 winner in Brisbane, but obviously Brisbane form isn't, you know, Sydney or Melbourne form. So, you know, we'd like to get through Hastings, and, you know, she might be aimed at a 2,000-metre race around the valley in the spring.
Okay. Not that you wouldn't consider the Coolmore Classic this time next year, maybe, or?
I think you know, she's so sound and durable, which makes her you know, really, you know, not easier to train. She's got no faults, and hopefully with the way that she's going, she's got a bit of longevity about her as well. So you know, she's improved from 2 to 3 to 4, and she might even get a little bit better next year. So you know, it's really exciting, Sheldon.
Jamie, you wouldn't mind a quick comment on your other winner at Otaki yesterday, the well-travelled Sasso Cabarro over the 1,200 metres?
Yeah, I thought she was really impressive. Don't know a lot about her yet, still sort of getting to know her, but she came over from the China Horse Club and arrived from Chris Lee's stable in really good order, and she's here to get some black types, so she'll be off to the Lightning Stakes in 3 weeks' time at Trentham, and if she can run up to the form that she showed there yesterday, you know, hopefully we can get some black type with her.
Jamie, you're spending a lot of time talking to various people on the trackside at the moment. We thoroughly appreciate your time again, and hope you enjoy the afterglow of another Group 1 success with Melody Bell.
Thank you.
Thanks, mate.
Jamie Richards there, after Melody Bell completed her 5th Group 1 win. We're going to hear from other winning connections involved with Melody Bell.
Just tell us your reaction to that.
She's amazing, isn't she? She really is amazing. I mean, she has been the benchmark horse of the season, I guess, but you still got to get out there and do it. And yeah, there was some confidence, but not 100% confidence.
How special is this one today?
I think really special. I mean, if you said at the start of the season that we could run in 7 races and win 5 of them, Group 2 and 4 Group 1s, you wouldn't believe it. So it is very special.
Congratulations, John.
Thanks, mate.
It's actually quite enjoyed winning that, because it's only Group 1 I haven't won in New Zealand, and to get the whole lot now is quite proud.
Exactly. To get the full house, it's something you have strived for, isn't it?
Yeah, this race, so I haven't ridden it a lot because it always clashes with Matamata, but to be on a quality mare like her, I know I was in for a big chance.
Exactly. Now 1 away from Lance's record as well, but what about this mare? You're 3 from 3 on her. What is it about her?
She's just a professional racehorse, and she just never knows when to lay down. Her record shows that too, so you can put her anywhere in a race and she travels beautifully, goes through it on top of the ground through wet, heavy tracks, so don't worry her at all.
Just tell us about the run that you got. You seemed to be wide the whole way, and you were keen to get into that race sort of 4 wide pretty early in the race. Yeah, I didn't jump away as good as I hoped, but I got into a nice position and she travelled beautifully, just nice and balanced, and come up underneath me turning in, and I know it was a big chance from about the 600. Congratulations, Opie. Thank you.
So 2 wins on the day there for Opie Bosson, and he had to pass up another one on Falar as well, which Troy Harris picked up, who of course had ridden Melody Bell to her previous Group 1 victory. He was charged $200 Opie there for not making the weight there with Falar, but what it did do on the day is complete the full set of Group 1 victories in New Zealand racing for Opie Bosson, and that is something to be extremely proud of.
It's an unbelievable achievement, isn't it? We haven't had the time to check back on how many other jockeys have done it. We're pretty sure Lance O'Sullivan's done it, but that's extraordinary. Every Group 1 in New Zealand.
And Sheldon, you could just back Opie Bosson with confidence in just about any race going around.
I just wonder if he had been a wee bit lighter, if he would have won even more, but possibly not, because he does tend to get the pick of rides in those Group 1 races. But you compare him, like Hugh Bowman yesterday, I think, rode his 87th Group 1 winner in Australia. You just sort of start thinking about how good Opie is, and if he was a wee bit lighter and he decided to really attack Australia where he might be, even though he's probably pretty happy where he is now with
in a good space.
Child in tow as well these days.
Well, he was another one that I talked to very young at Oamaru when he was there. There were talk about his weight at that stage of his career, Bruce. So for him to have been able to overcome that as well as possible over the years.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a hell of an assignment, isn't it? If these jockeys face and dieting for such a long period of their lives.
What about the other jockeys who were involved yesterday in the Group 1? Let's hear from them, starting actually with an ex-jockey.
Oh, look, 5 times Group 1 placed, you know, it's you know, she's the best horse in the country, there's no doubt in that. Look, she just finds a way to win and she wins. But look, we've got to be so proud with our horse, you know. He's not big, but he's a grouse colt. Look, he's won over 400 grand now, I think, and that's a good end to a season. Look, all going well, we've talked to the owners, but I'd like to see him back next season, you know, and hopefully he can get a Group 1 and get a job after racing.
Look, I was wrapped with Windspell. He gave me 200% today, this horse. Give me a beautiful ride. Midfield, I was caught on the inside. Instructions were to go out wide, look for better ground. I couldn't do so. I was handling on the inside. So before we entered the home turn, I thought, I'll let him rip and go for it. He shot to the lead in the home turn, and he put up a game challenge.
Very good run. She had the blinkers back on, sort of jumped straight to the front today. But you know, she likes to race up there. Still right there, halfway down, and fought real hard to the line.
More under trouble, though, good. Just followed Melody Bell into the race. Ash relaxed good today, and just hit the line strong, just laying in that last 150, but he went really well for a derby.
Oh, he ran well, Aiden. Melody Bell got him under pressure sooner than I would have liked coming to the turn, but he ran well. He didn't shirk his task. He finished 5th, and he was effective in the ground. It was just a pretty testing run under the conditions for a young, you know, he's only a 4-year-old, and competing against those type of horses, I think he's a genuine Group 1 horse. He just needs to become a little bit more seasoned.
I thought it was a nice enough run. Coming into the straight, I thought I had quite a bit of horse there, and I've just gone to press the button on him. I just felt that he just wasn't quite suited to the track conditions today, but considering that, he's still gone a pretty decent race, and wouldn't surprise me to see him bounce back next start on top of the ground.
Troy, what'd you make of that?
She didn't really cop the track that great. Got stuck back in a little sort of a sticky spot. The winners got going around me, and Windsails got going inside me, and I've just sort of been stuck there for a run. But she really struggled in the track today.
Okay, just tell us about Filar from earlier on. What did you make of him?
He was good. Still, he didn't really cop the track, but I think he's just a class horse in that race. Got out to the better part of the track, and he's just too good.
And as we wrap up the Group 1 from Otaki, Bruce, outside of the winner, who's a 4-year-old mare, another 4-year-old mare, Korchurai.
Yeah, I like the run of Sapira, Mark. She's come from last on the corner. She's only lightly raced. It's her 11th start yesterday. She's run home for 7th. She's weaved through nicely. She's a black book out of the race for me. Really like the run. Race like the Tiara Breeders' Stakes could well be on her card.
Just noted late in the piece she was just lugging in a wee bit, and a couple of them were. More Wonder did a wee bit too. Was that, you think they're just tying up on those not perfect track conditions?
The speed rating is the best I've had of any race this season. It was a very strong mile, so good sectionals, proper race.
Sharrock was very bullish about Ladies First before the race, and he was probably fairly encouraged by her running on.
She's run well enough, yeah. She's a bit one pace to the line, but that's what you'd expect.
And the big question mark is, More Wonder ready to run the race of his life in the Derby, or is he just over the top?
He's backing up.
Yeah. That's the question, because, gee, you wouldn't be shocked, would you? He's got some talent.
He's a good horse.
Very good horse. Endless Drama, the Chris Waller runner that Larry Cassidy was here to ride. Clearly not 100%. Larry said horse ran very keenly, over-raced, hung in the straight. Poor recovery rate afterwards as well, so more to come on that Endless Drama. On the day, Chris Johnson rode 3 winners, including the last, the Platinum Invader. And as we talk about the Derby, with More Wonder backing up in the $1,000 Vodafone Derby next week, we have a look at Platinum Invader here, winning the last, backed heavily to do so, Bruce, and needed to off the back of a pretty unlucky run in the end.
Very unlucky last week, as we touched on, the son of Redwood. I've got him going to 19th as they stand in the Derby order. He's leapfrogged over Masetto and Sword and Stone. I think Arrogant, Predefer at 17, Arrogant 18, Platinum Invader 19, Masetto 20 and Sword and Stone 21. That's the way I see it. He's got to back up 3 Saturdays in a row, but he looks a very genuine, very honest horse, and he's going to run the 2,400 metres on the evidence we're seeing.
And I think if you could win a race and look after it at the same time, he's done that because he's just picked his path through C.W. Johnson and given him a couple behind the saddle the last 50 yards just to make sure he got there. So for mine, I talked to John Street actually at the Standardbridge sales, and they were really confident that they had a serious Derby winning capable colt after that Avondale Guineas run. Just a matter of getting him in the field, and as you said, Bruce, that 3 races in 2 weeks job. But he just looks the part. And if there's a little bit of give in the track, which there could be, that'll sit him down.
Spoke with Lisa Latta this morning, said the horse has come through it as good as he could have after yesterday. Lincoln Falls also going, and Cernate worked really well yesterday morning, and he's going to run in the Derby at this stage.
Just in that race too, Schist ran second. Definitely an Oaks prospect, and she was desperately unlucky last time, so she ticked all the boxes that we thought she might tick last time.
Bruce, you're in the best position to answer this. $3 Surely Sacred, is that too short?
It is. It'll be 18 runner field, barrier draws, weather. It's a toxic price.
And so just Chris Johnson now second on the all-time list. Just took over L.A. O'Sullivan yesterday. I think he's on 2.358 and chasing down David Welsh, who's on 2.541. And he's speaking during the week with one of his mentors, Andrew McKero. He's focused, and he's probably going to get there, barring injury or anything unfortunate happening, maybe this time next year.
It's riding great.
Yeah, he is.
The magic
focused.
That's Otaki. Right, what mattered at Matamata? We'll find out after this. Matamata was the premier day of racing action. The 2-year-olds to the 4 of the $100,000 Group 2 J-Swap Contractors Limited Matamata Breeders Stakes is the one we're going to take in first over the 1,200 metres as we pick them up here. Looking to the winner, Aretha and Rainbow Dash, who were on the pace. Bavella, the favourite, back and wide. Alaloon, the grey, hooks to the outside, runs on strongly.
Poking through along the inside. Where's his favourite, Bavella? She's still 3 lengths off them. At the 200 metres, Rainbow Dash. Aretha dives through on the inside. Still kicking on, Rainbow Dash. Out wide, Alaloon is flying. It's now Aretha, and on the outside of it, Rainbow Dash as they go towards a post. Aretha, a boil over in the Matamata Breeder Stakes. Aretha's won it for Jonathan Riddell, second over.
Aretha, the Charm Spirit filly, taking out the Breeders' Stakes, the J-Swap Group 2 on centenary race day for the Matamata race, 100 years of racing at Matamata, so well done to the team then. Aretha box seated, it turned into a lead trail affair. Rainbow Dash with very good gate speed, setting them up and then dropping anchor. Aretha trails it at every step. I'm not 100% sure the inside was the place to be, but given the tempo, certainly helped their positions. Alaloon super, but the talking point out of the race was Bavella. She was unusually slowly away, and Sheldon, she just never looked like she was travelling at any stage. She tried to improve out wide. We didn't see a normal turn of foot, and just, I guess we put it down to track conditions.
I thought she was super fresh before the race as well, and she did have a setback, so that may have all sort of amounted to an ordinary showing for her, so you'd have to forgive on several fronts. We've everyone's probably spotted Alaloon in previous races. When it gets up to 1,400 metres, she's going to be scary for everyone except for Probabeel, I would have thought. It's a great run. I thought the leader was pretty game, and the trailer just cashed in on the run and got Charm Spirit on the board down under.
Absolutely, the Group 2 victory for the daughter of Charm Spirit out of Sikori. It's a granddaughter of Horlicks, bred by Greg McCarthy, who's the NZTR nominee to the racing board.
Okay, so quite interesting breeding that, as you say, reward for perseverance.
Oh, no question. I think we've got a graphic on this somewhere, Sikori. Yeah, she hasn't got the best record of breeding in the world in terms of missed and slipped and died, but getting through. Here we go. This is Sikori. She's a granddaughter of Horlicks. And as we say, reward for perseverance. Missed twice to Volkswagen, the next one died,
the second foal.
Slipped. The first foal by Paul Moara is a 4-year-old mare which has never raced. Extraordinary. So well done to the team there. Many would have given up long before, but it is a lovely family.
And Charm Spirit, he's a very fast horse, or he seems to be producing very fast horses. I think he was the was he number 1 or 2 in Europe?
Great start in Europe.
For number of winners without actually getting a big race, I don't think. But it's good to see him on the board. And the sire of the third horse, the grey horse, Reliable Man, now he was not in demand at all at the yearling sales, but he's left this filly, which has got 2-year-old speed, Schist, which we talked about earlier, the Lisa Ladder filly that's a real chance in the Oaks. Is it Reliable Miss or?
Yep, he's just a little bit out of favour commercially, but he's getting enough results and can leave a racehorse, as we see there. Arla Loon is a very good filly.
Yeah, excellent. We've been following her for a few races, but everyone will have seen her. She's excellent.
So Aretha victorious for Jonathan Riddell, riding for the Forsman Baker team.
What an Andrew G, what an effort from the filly.
Yeah, it was. She's very brave. Jonathan and I had to think about it. We knew we were going to be on the rail. Took the punt. He could have angled off and come out 3 wide, but we decided just stick to the fence, rail up. She does like that sort of way of racing, and I think he rode her a treat and just stuck to the plan, and it came off.
Right, you lined the horse up in the Wakefield first time to the races, and that was on an off track, and had a bit of a break following that. And was this always a target race?
Yeah, like she did that all on ability that day. She'd probably just got down there and got the run out of her and got some stakes placing behind her, and obviously had a little bit of a freshen up after that, and this was always the target. We've come off a little bit of a short run, hasn't been that easy to get her here, but the team at home have done a brilliant job to manage her through.
Look, Barry draws out Gold Dust, and you drew the Ace Marble, and that meant you gave you some options about where you wanted to sort of place a horse in the run.
It did. I mean, earlier in the day it looked perhaps like Barrier 1 was going to be a bit of a disaster, but as the racing's played out and there hasn't been any rain on the day, I don't think the rail's too bad, and it probably just meant, just gave us that nice easy run, really.
And I suppose now a filly that you can eye some of the Group 1 options available now?
Yeah, just see how she comes through it, I guess. With 2-year-olds, they're pretty fickle, just go race by race, but more importantly, she's a Group 2 winner now, and that's massive for Greg.
Right on, Jonathan. Ace draw, took a sip behind Rainbow Dash and sneaked up the inside to win.
Yeah, tough little filly. Had to work a bit. Jake rolled off a little bit. And Murray did say to stay, get off the fence, but the run was there, so I took it. And then Jake got back on me, and to her credit, she was tough. Yeah. She just dug in like the Murray and Andrews horses do.
Yep. Had she travelled nicely and kindly enough for you in the run?
Jumped beautifully. The Ace Squirrel probably helps, but travelled beautifully, and yeah, too tough.
Well done, mate.
Thank you.
Jonathan Riddell victorious in this saddle. We're going to hear from the beaten jockeys. We won't be hearing from Jason Waddell, but an update on him. He did fall off a pellant after the race, was knocked unconscious, taken to hospital. He was kept in overnight, but he is to be discharged about now, talking to Daryl Anderson. And he said that Jason's a bit stiff, hopefully to pass a concussion test on Monday or Tuesday, hoping to ride Wednesday and Saturday, Derby Day, but of course he copped a 5-day suspension in the first yesterday, which will be 5 days in taking in the Auckland Cup Day back on the 10th for Jason. So a tough day for Jason Waddell. We wish him well to get back in the saddle this week. Let's hear though from those in behind.
Yeah, look, she flew the leads, and we thought we'd just take up the lead. Got a nice little cheap furlong in there, and she gave a good sight. She tries hard. Bit of a repeat of last year, getting beaten in the nose. It's a bit disappointing, but no, look, maybe the 4 weeks between runs took its toll. She sort of got one crept up the inside of her, and she sort of got headed, and she was about to settle for second, and then she boxed back on again, and it was a real dogfight, and unfortunately we come out second again.
Look, it was a huge run. Look, drew the outside gate. It's pretty awkward from out there. She jumped well enough, possibly to have 3 or 4 behind her, but unfortunately she was never going to get in. So we came back and followed the favourite. It dragged us into the race nicely. She's let down really well. Slow track probably helped her a little bit. She's a nice filly going 1,400 metres, but as a 3-year-old going a mile, you'll see something special.
Yeah, really happy with her run. She's obviously jumped from a wide gate and ended up being stuck 3 wider. Was fairly happy with her. I ended up the track sort of being a little bit off on the inside. I think she's really a filly to watch going forward in distance. Her first start with the hood on today, she travelled quite keen for the track conditions, but I think once she gets to a trip where she can draw a nice soft gate on a good track and sit and conserve a bit of energy, she's going to have a really good turn of foot, and really look forward to sticking with her actually.
Run really well, travelled good behind the winner.
they're just probably a bit sharp off the turn for her, but she was good and strong for the line. 1400 suited perfect.
Yeah, unfortunate. Just before the gates opened, she had a little bit of a play and didn't get away very well. Look, she's never been back in the field before, so she raced a bit green, and when I did let her go, she's come into it for a little bit, but probably will improve the run.
Vinnie Colgan there, finishing our look at the breeders, although you've been looking back at the past and coming up with a statistic around Mr. Murray Baker.
Murray Baker's second Matamata Breeders' Stakes. His first was with Kate Smith in 1988.
Wow.
31 years ago.
Yeah, about the last time I worked with Sheldon. The Waikato Stud Slipper.
We tipped it, I think, didn't we, on the 1,000 pennies?
1,200 metres, the 2-year-old Colts and Geldings. It was just a field of 6. Very impressive win. We've touched on this morning when we had Jamie Richards on earlier. Your Deal running away from Aotea Lad.
Little leads by 2.5 on the corner. Coming after it now, we've got Aotea Lad being set alight. Your Deal is there. Scotch looks to run on. Then Equinox and Patch Prince at the 200. Moiraki tackled by Your Deal, who bounded to the lead here. Your Deal in front. Drew clear by 3 lengths in the twinkling of an eye from Moiraki. Then Aotea Lad and Scotch, but it's all Your Deal. Your Deal is going to bolt home in the Waikato Stud Slipper. Second over Aotea Lad. Third Moiraki. Then Scotch.
Group 3. Waikato Stud Slipper and Your Deal really coming of age in this, I think, after a terrific run in the Karaka Million. Again, box seating behind Meraki. Pretty gentle tempo again. Meraki controlling the tempo. Your Deal just overreacting for a stride as he took the sit. Outside of them was Equinox, who was obviously a bit disappointing on the ground, and Aotea Lad and the 1 out, 1 back. They rode Scotch a bit quieter in 5th. Looked a real chance when it loomed up, but just maybe not finishing off on the ground. Meraki's getting a pretty easy time of it in front, one of the quickest 600s of the day, but Your Deal really quickening up like a quality horse. 2 stakes winners, 2 Group 2s, Group 2 and a Group 3 yesterday for Dundee, so he's flying, the young stallion. This horse very impressive and looking like he's putting his hand up high for a race like the Size Produce.
Do you think John Massara could footnote in his Massara report that we could stand Dundeel in New Zealand for about 3 or 4 years?
Yeah, it's looking like a missed opportunity, isn't it?
Oh, geez, just flying at the moment, and he's got all the you know the.
It's all in front of him, isn't
it? And he's got the markings of Dundeel, and he's just showing that he can leave them with a bit of brilliance. Dundeel, and this was brilliant. Again, I think Aotea Lad was just a wee bit hard done by on the corner. It'll be interesting to see what Mike McNabb has to say post-race, but I just thought he was just coming into it, got a bit of a bump. I couldn't quite work out whether it was from a stablemate in behind or the one on the inside, but just put him off balance as he was improving, and he may have got a wee bit closer, that's all. Wouldn't have won, though.
OK. Brendan Popplewell on track, getting us all of the post-race yesterday for the Slipper.
Jamie, well done. Gee, he's really put them to the sword there. He's dropped them.
Yeah, his work had been really strong, and he's just a little bit worried about the track, but yeah, he's a pretty exciting horse, I think.
He took a comfortable sit behind the pressure, and then when Matt Cameron released the brakes, he really put a hole in them late.
Yeah, he did. He's always shown us a little bit of ability, but he's pretty colty in the spring, and as soon as we got that out of the road, he's really turned the corner and turned into a racehorse. And you know, a big thank you to the team at home. They've done a great job with him. He's enjoyed a bit of a freshen up, and you know, hopefully it's onwards and upwards into the Systema from here.
Right, a quick comment around the second horse in the race, Aotea Lad.
Yeah, I thought he ran well. Could have gotten a nice spot, quickened up well, and I guess a little bit disappointing was Equinox. So we'll just have to see what happened there, but that might have been the track tripping him up a little bit. Just a big thank you to Chris Rutten too for buying the horse and sending him to us. It's good to get some outside support.
Right, well done you, Jamie.
Thank you.
Geez, he's a horse that just keeps on getting better, and he's really shown his true worth today again.
Yeah, he does. You know, he's obviously run into a couple of smart ones the last few, but only been a couple lengths off them. So had the nice draw. He pulled a little bit at the start, and once I come back and had a bit of a flat spot for the turn, but we're all in the same boat. Lucky the leader kicked away, gave us a gap, and once I gave him got into him a little bit, he's really hit the line well, so very happy with him.
Look, in a small field, you had that draw to be able to take a spot behind the leader, and then it was all about him releasing those brakes and also handling the track conditions as well.
He was, you know, obviously being drawn one, you're in the worst of it, so I kind of had to plough through that across coming to the straight, but the favourite I could see was under a lot of pressure before the turn, and you know, it was my option to get off and get outside the leader, give him clear air, but you know, once I got half from the straight, he really attacked the line, so
horse going forward, looking for further too. It's a good sign.
Nicely done, Matt.
Cheers, mate.
Right, well, I just think the track took away a lot of his brilliance. He just couldn't be as explosive as what it normally is, but he was good to the line, so he's a beautiful horse.
He went very good. He's probably just a little bit immature at the moment, but he jumped, led up, and he's kicked on, keep kicking for third, so no, it was a good run.
Yeah, he was disappointing again, Brendan. We rode him a little bit quiet today. He relaxed beautifully behind ATL Lad in what was a genuinely run race. He tracked up on the corner and he gave me about 50 metres of a half effort, and he battled badly the last 200.
Yeah, sort of put himself up outside the leader. Even down the back, he wasn't travelling that good. To me, it felt like it was just in the going, just in the sort of cut-up track. He just wasn't really getting through it. And as we straightened it, before we straightened up to him for home, he was really just dipping and diving and wasn't comfortable on the ground. So I wouldn't drop him on today's run. I think he's definitely a lot better than that, and he's still got a bright future ahead of him. But probably just a good track horse.
That's the Waikato Stud Slipper wash-up. We're a fortnight away from the Sistema Stakes, Dallas over the 1200, Bruce, and we're identifying already horses for the 1400 of the size produce at the end of March at Awapuni.
Yeah, no, it's as we've said most of the season, these look like a good crop of 2-year-olds, so looking forward to those 2 Group 1s.
Does this crop excite you, Sheldon?
It does. Plenty of forgives, I think, yesterday on the track. A few of the brilliant ones there getting tied up.
Scotch is the interesting one, isn't it? That almost sounded like they might be thinking about gelding.
Yeah, because he's obviously a stallion prospect in the initial stages. But for mine, he's disappointed more than once.
Well, the gelding certainly worked for the winner there, Your Deal. Let's look to the Marks Ewan and Associates Kaimai Stakes over the 2,000 metres as we start thinking Cup horses here, and particularly Charles Road sitting fourth because he's the Auckland Cup favourite, but Vinda Dance, the Derby winner, victorious here in a terrific finish with Rondinella, and plenty of discussion around the finish shortly.
On the inside, Lady Amadeus, joined now by Tiptronic. Here's Vinda Dance coming after them. Giovanni Canaletto's making an appearance, and here's Rondinella. She's starting to arrive down the outside. Giovanni Canaletto in front. Vinda Dance is lifting, and Rondinella coming after the 2 at the line. Oh, Vinda Dance, I reckon. Vinda Dance, I reckon, a nose from either Giovanni Canaletto or Rondinella.
Great finish. Listed Marks and Ewan Kaimai Stakes, the 2,000 metres, and it was a good break away. Vinda Dance, last year's Derby winner, gets into a nice spot, one off early. He's in the OTI colours, the white, mostly white from this angle with the white hat. Rondinella's getting across behind him. Vinda Dance actually gets down to one off the fence turning out of the straight, but looked a very deliberate move by Matt Cameron, we'll see shortly, to get away from the fence down the back. Tempo, a bit muddling. Tiptronic up there, a reluctant leader. And then the 2 owner mates going forward, Classic Touch and Lady Amadeus in the back. We'll just see where Matt Cameron just starts to ease out for clear ground. And he's under pressure. He's one of the first under the pressure at about the 800 metres. Gets a bit rough and tight in the middle of the pack there with his stablemate to the outside, Charles Road. Yeah, Rondinella, she was 3 wide and eventually went probably further back than we expected to find some cover. She's in the Haunui colours about 4th last. Tiptronic's travelling really well in the black, going to 3rd and shortly goes to the front. Probably just the ground has tripped him up late. I thought he went well. Vinda Dance responding under a hard ride. Giovanni Canaletto's gone miles better with the blinkers on and maybe the wet track, and the green and red coming through, one off the fence. He's probably in the slower part of the track, as is the eye-catcher, Charles Road. He's run a beauty. He was just in traffic down the side and worked home well.
Well, I suppose all hype aside, we got a fairly good line on how good Rondinella is, just matching up with the winner of this race, because he's a serious horse, serious stayer, Vinda Dance. And he looked $1 million before the race. Great Matty Cameron rode for yesterday. He was just in sublime riding form. Just watch Vinnie Colgan here. Did he just miss the line there? Because it's there.
The official report is suffering from wasting and dehydration and got out of rhythm.
What was the margin?
I don't think it made any difference to them. Well, it definitely didn't make any difference to the margin, but I think he might have misjudged that.
Yeah, he was stood down for the final race, obviously feeling unwell.
Okay. Sydney Cup now, I think, for the winner, and you know, he's gone close in Australia before, and I suppose when you're looking at quality New Zealand horses, you look at the Australian form, he's got plenty of it, and that was really no surprise yesterday after that great run first up from Vinda Dance.
Sydney Cup market there too, with Vinda Dance at $26. In fact, everything's $26 there. Vanga Mask, of course, is down to come to the Auckland Cup, and Sir Charles Road is the favourite for the Auckland Cup, also in that market there at $26 for the Sydney Cup. Let's get the wash up though on the Kaimai Stakes with the winning connections first and foremost.
Andrew Forsman, congratulations to a good solid run. He sustained a good gallop here.
Yeah, he did. He was caught out wide. Probably wasn't it was a bit of a muddling run race, to be fair. It didn't pan out like a lot of people would have thought, I think. And yeah, it was a little bit of a slog home, really. The track looked quite testing there, and probably tripped up the second horse. You know, Rondinella was game, but you know, he's a good horse in his own right, and he's on the way up.
Certainly is. I mean, you must have been pleased with how he ran first up to the races coming into this today.
Yeah, really happy. Like, better than what we could have imagined, and he's improved out of sight since then. We were really happy with his work coming into it.
Okay, all right. What's this sort of leading to now for him?
Look, we'll just wait and see. There's probably options in Sydney I think we have to consider now, leading into something like a Sydney Cup. We just didn't have enough time to have him ready for an Auckland Cup. So, yeah, something we'll have to sit down with the OTI team and work out.
Well done to you, Matt. He's really gutsed it out there. He's sustained a long run.
Yeah, he did, you know. I wasn't too worried about moving when I did. Good Cigar in front of me trying to look for a run, so I had to get moving, and you know, we know he's really one pace and you'll see the distance out, so no, it was a good tough one.
Yeah, at one stage it looked like he was going to run third, and he's come again. He's really fought all the way to the line. Yeah,
like I don't have a hell of a lot to do with him, but you know, look at his debut when he fought all the way down the straight and got up, and I knew I had that underneath me, and yeah, he does hit his flat spots, and they do go past him, but he got the job done when he needed to.
Great day out. It's a top day to be winning races, especially when the money's up like today.
Yeah, definitely it makes it all worthwhile when you're sitting in the sparring. You know, not as bad as the other boys, but you know, it definitely pays off.
Nicely done, Matt.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah, Andrew Scott and Lance Sullivan were actually very confident with him coming into this race today, even being looked at odds. They said his work's been good and they've changed a few things with him, so expect a bold run, and that's what we did. He hit the front at the top of the straight and just got pipped the last three or four strides by a couple of war horses, so he's probably an Auckland Cup prospect now. He did relish the wet going, so he gave me a nice ride, and we cut the corner, and yeah, brave run, and so whatever they're doing with it, hopefully they keep it up to him, and I think he wouldn't be a bad chance in the Auckland Cup.
Yeah, brilliant run. You know, he sort of got back a bit, got a nice track into it. Had a little bit of traffic problems sort of from the 600 onwards. I wouldn't have minded sort of getting out into the open a bit more, but sort of had a couple of horses around me stopping. But I was able to get a couple of paths late, and with the 60 kilos, geez, he got home good. So really great run. Like looking towards the Cup in 2 weeks' time should be ideal.
Yeah, very happy with his run. Just had to do a bit from the draw, but ended up in a nice spot, and just got left in front of the top of the straight. And if the track was a little bit better, he would have shown a better kick, but he wasn't far from the winner, and no, he's going huge.
Yeah, good run, fresh up over that distance. Just probably peaked on his run, top of the straight. Had a nice run up through and got off the fence, and yeah, I got half excited, but the effort told. But all in all, good run going forward with the horse.
Thoughts of Jonathan Riddell there on Zacada, first race since the Melbourne Cup. And speaking of Melbourne Cup, Charles Road, who ran so well in there, in the Auckland Cup market, 350, Bruce. The flashing light's been on, hasn't it, since he resumed every single run?
Top three looking really good horses, though, aren't they, in terms of underlining Auckland Cup? Charles Road, Glory Days, 5 to Midnight.
Prince Jamil, what did you make of him yesterday, over the top?
I think track, I guess. He's never won on anything worse than a good track. All his wins are on good ground, and he just dropped out. It was too bad to be true.
He was vetted all clear.
Yeah, did Zacada go a wee bit better yesterday?
Well enough to be some sort of hope moving forward. Is it coming a bit quick, second up in an Auckland Cup?
Big move is Vanga Mask, who's been in a couple of Melbourne Cups.
Yeah, big shortener, isn't it? It's 26 to 1 into 10, then the word that it is coming. So anyone who got the 26 is...
I'd put WTF next to Giovanni. Where did that come from?
WTF? Where did that come from?
You have to explain it to me,
What the freak?
He did run third in a Hong Kong Derby in a Gold Cup up there, so he's classy. He's obviously had his injury problems, but yeah, as Jake said in the post-race there, the wet track, blinkers on with the key.
And Vinny must have been chopping some water back. instead of going to the beaten shocks interviews.
Rondinella, she'll probably get a significant re-handicap. She was out of the weights there by about 11 points, but I wonder whether she goes to that Group 1 New Zealand Stakes, as would a Tiptronic.
OK, Sean Mackay picking up that right on Tiptronic for Jason Waddell, who we discussed earlier. Right after the break, Aussie, but not too many oi-ois for the Kiwi connections.
The taste of your lips while the sun went down, so sweet. And I could exist in that summer. Oh. Close my eyes and get lost in the memory. And just drift away. Just drift away.
Big day, Rosehill, New South Wales. There shortly, Caulfield in Melbourne, though, as we were going to check out first. A few races, Futurity starting with Blue Diamond, Oakley Plate. They were all there, starting with the Futurity, and Lizzie and Hugh Bowman doing the job here. Big day for Godolphin. James Cummings trained this 4 straight for her.
Extraordinary win, Mark. She's been 3 wide the entire over a mile, working. She's a star. She's one of the best in Australia. Without Wink, she might be the second best on what I'm seeing at this prep. This is extraordinary. They just don't do that. Brave smashing behind them was a bit unlucky.
Everyone saw that one. And that was Group 1 win number 87 for Hugh.
Blue Diamond here, 1.6 million, 2-year-olds. A filly here, Luke Curry riding Liar for Anthony Friedman and Godolphin again.
This was last at the 400.
Yeah. Up front, free of debt, sticking on after being part of that hard, strong lead in the turquoise, but Liar makes it 3 in a row. How did she ever get beaten on debut?
Gee, must be a Golden Slipper favourite, surely. Now,
tough job to go from the Blue Diamond to the Golden Slipper.
Gee,
we'll see a couple of those shortly.
Yeah, I think Tassel's still the...
Yeah.
Got beaten yesterday.
Yeah, it did, yeah.
Fair slash square.
Very good run. Filly, I like loving Gabby in that, and she had a few hiccups coming
lucky,
in.
Was it? Yeah, it wasn't lucky.
Here's the Oakley. Sensei, we were, hopeful, not confident, obviously, but never in the hunt, really. Nature Strip led, compounded. Booker, the winner, ran 4th last year as a 3-year-old, wins it as a 4-year-old mare.
Yeah, Nature Strip just doesn't quite get the trip. Eduardo was huge off a 3-wide trip. And running on strongly, the other Godolphin horse out wide there as well.
It's got the heart of a Caraway seed, to use a Steve Hansen quote, I think.
I think he's got a breathing problem.
Just one breath, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's
fast.
It's amazing how good he is. Imagine if he could breathe.
And Sensei would put that down to experience of the Australian sprinters, I think. They just go
They are in a different world, aren't they? They're some of the best in the world. It's a heck of an assignment.
But gee, Caulfield's just so good. Yesterday, watching Caulfield, you just want to get a horse and be a part of it. You got any slow ones at raffles?
Slow ones. Lots of slow ones.
You go around in one of the support races.
If Sensei's beating one home, Sheldon, we need something quick.
Okay. Dig one up.
Let's go.
Farlap won one of those races too back in the day.
Oh,
Futurity. Yeah, we can dig him up and do a bit of DNA. You're allowed to do that now?
Probably. Let's look to Rosehill now, to the New South Wales features of yesterday. And a few big races coming up, of course. Here's the Silver Slipper, Time to Reign, half-brother to She Will Reign, who won the Golden Slipper a couple of years ago, beating Tassort here.
I think Alicia Collett's off to Vegas after getting the good intel from Jason Collett on this one yesterday. She's not coming back.
10-1 with Tassort heavily supported the Brazen Bow Colt second, and they streeted the others.
So that was the favourite for the Golden Slipper, the second horse?
The second horse, yeah.
James McCall. Give me the filly at this stage.
James saying, put me on a dry track reverse result.
Yeah, the track was tricky at Rosehill yesterday. He just didn't quicken as well as usual.
The Hobart we're going to look at here, 3-year-olds over the 1400. The Autumn Sun awaited return as third, Group 1. Took most of the straight to get there for Kieran McAvoy.
Yeah, I think the ground again, he just didn't have the explosive turn of foot we come to expect of him, but gee, he's a winner.
They hauled up around the top too, which wouldn't have helped him.
Yeah, tempo didn't help.
Winks would have won by 3, mind.
He's exciting though, isn't he?
He's only been beaten once, and that day was...
Look at the stride on it. It gets down the straight in about 14 strides, I think. Massive.
We're going to take in the Group 2 Millie Fox as well because Savvy Cope was in here, but yeah, more on her in just a moment. It was White Moss up front, winning, very easy to spot. 5-year-old mare all the way and off to the Cornwall Classic.
Kiwi bred, out of Pay My Bail.
Nice.
Out of Pay My Bail, and found by Lizzie Jolfs as the pick of the yard, so the 50-1 hope gets home.
Sheldon, it hurts watching Savvy Cope at the back of the...
Just not, I think she's peaked at Hastings. She's gone for the Cox Plate, taken the edge off her. And, you know, they're probably going to say shocking ride by Glyn.
Which was.
Soft track, 1,300 metres, but you just would have liked to see her tagging onto the main part of the bunch because, to be honest, I know it's back in New Zealand. She lines up fresh at, say, Riccarton in a nice race. She probably wins it. You know, she's a mile away from what she was. Based on that form, Melody Bell would have run about 9th. Right. Yep. So she wasn't that far away from her at the Hastings Carnival. So you'd almost... Did you get in touch with them? You'd almost pulled the plug.
Yeah, Jim Bruford, he just says they were putting it down to the track conditions and reassess next time as she gets up to a more suitable distance.
We're feeling it, mate. South Islanders feeling that sort of stuff yesterday. Exactly, Savvy Cope at the tail end. Gee.
Yeah. Should we talk about Beauty Generation to boost our spirits? New Zealand bred Hong Kong Horse of the Year, won the Group 1 Jubilee Cup last week. We're going to take in the replay of that. 6th Group 1, 8 wins in a row now, 16 from 29. And Zach Purton doing the riding for John Moore, who says this horse has rejuvenated his career.
It's amazing, isn't it, this horse? The New Zealand bred Beauty Generation. This is, I guess, a while you were sleeping moment late last Sunday night, winning another Group 1, his 6th Group 1 and his 7th win in a row. He's on his way to breaking the all-time stakes record in Hong Kong, currently held by Viva Pitaka. This horse has won about 14 million New Zealand dollars. Running second
he's like a robo horse.
He just gets out
keeps
and
going.
he just
reminds me of
into the ground.
What was that sprinter? Silent Witness. He reminds me of him. He just like a robo horse that keeps going and going and going. It's not going to stop. Amazing.
Second was Beat the Clock, a ready-to-run graduate out of New Zealand. So a nice taste there for the Kiwis.
Certainly. OK, that's Beauty Generation. Very shortly, we're going to start wondering about the finish of today's weigh-in.
Oh, no wonder no more. Start Wandering wins the Sistema Railways. I got the wandering days. Start Wandering's in front. Naturzi flying but too late. Start Wandering, oh, he's a beauty. Start Wandering gets another Group 1. The Start Wandering, Packing Eagles trying to pick it up, can't get there. Start Wandering goes back to back in the Group 1.
And if you're wondering why we're talking about Start Wandering, it's because the 8-year-old former champion sprinter has been retired with a tendon strain. Bruce only had 29 starts, made the most of those, became a bit of a fan favourite.
He did. What a good horse he was. 3 Group 1, Sprinter of the Year, going back a couple of years, came back from bleeding attacks to be a really great horse. Nearly, just over 700,000 prize money his record there, 29 starts, 11 wins. So, and unfashionably bred.
I always thought the best thing about Start Wandering was it gave Evan and JJ Rayner a horse to take to the big shows, to prep. They loved it, and he delivered on more occasions than not. And so he was one of those, as you say, a bit like Sir Slicky fan favourite, wanted him to get up, the underdog, and he punched above his weight, that's for sure.
Started with Paul Belsham and
Chris Waller for a time.
Exactly, got 3 wins in Sydney as well.
Well, they can only improve it of him, sure. Jeez.
Heard Evan on Radio Trackside during the week too with Des Coppins. He's not going to renew his licence. So 1969, he first started trading a horse. JJ, of course, he'll still be around. He'll still be there.
Absolutely.
Just won't be a name. So
Terrific horseman.
Taking it hard, I'm quitting. That's it.
All the best to Evan, but we'll be seeing you around. We've got time for Year Nars, or the Nar Years. I'm going to start Nar Waidaia today. Why Waidaia? Because I'm just wondering what we hope to gain by shutting this track. What does it achieve for the future of New Zealand racing? Community disengagement, I would call this. It's one of two big things that happens in the year at Waidaia. The other's the A&P show. This is where people actually get to meet racing, but it's not like there's any great savings to be made. Waidaia, they seem to do things themselves. They've had to repatch their place at times in the past, and they've done it all. Lots of volunteer work, and they're able to run a meeting every year, or two in fact.
We should get on a show when they discuss the future of West Coast racing.
Oh, that'll be fun.
We'll be here for 55 minutes of Year Nars.
Nah. Bruce, you?
My Nar, a missed pig of an opportunity.
Huh?
Chinese New Year. I think we didn't do enough with that. Kungai Fat Choi, 2 to 3 weeks of celebrations for the Asian community. No reference to New Zealand anywhere. I was surprised by that. You take Hong Kong, for example, it's one of their biggest race days of the year. Crowd of 105,000 this year for the Chinese New Year Cup Day. They turned over 1.75 billion. So nearly half of New Zealand's total turnover was turned over on one Hong Kong day and over in Hong Kong. I think it's a chance we're missing out on to engage with the Asian part of the community and bring them on board with a cup race somewhere in New Zealand next year.
That's it. I'm definitely going to the Lantern Festival tonight when I get there. My Nar, we're going all the Nars. My Nar is the Waikato Racing Club bailing out of the Green Fields discussions before we actually got past the first meeting. You were there.
I didn't put you up to it.
I don't think harness racing turned up. I don't think the greyhounds turned up. It's sort of, the opportunity is here to discuss the future of New Zealand racing. You don't pull up stumps before the first meeting goes by, and I wouldn't be surprised if as it has been when the Masara report first came out, that it's re-emerges as one of the cornerstones of the Masara report going forward. You don't pull out. You might not like the tri-coat idea in terms of a venue with trots, gallops and greyhounds, but you're better to bring your idea, which may be a better one, to the table and continue the discussion. Absolutely. At this stage, you're looking like you think you're a bit smarter than everyone else. Big cross. Let's combine our Nars. This is Bruce's suggestion. Waidaia for Greenfields. He didn't mean it. Experienced hoops, still kicking goals. Chris Johnson saluting 3 times yesterday. Derry Mosley is going exceptionally well in the south. Trudy Thornton rode another winner yesterday. Obviously, I think it's critical for the senior jockeys while they're still riding well. A, for punters, obviously enjoy backing them, and 2, for the youngsters, the apprentices, etc., to learn around those people as well. You, Bruce? My year was the Excellence Awards, NZTR Long Service Awards, given out at Matamata yesterday to 3 stars of administration. Roger Blake, who was a big part of the Matamata Racing Club, and also Northern Race Days, which runs the starting gates in the northern area. Tom Brown, 24 years on committee at Matamata, 25 years on judicial, a star of the game, Tom Brown. And Richard Seabrook, who was 43 years on judicial. So well deserved. The administrators often unsung, those long service awards, NZTR. Perhaps long service is the wrong word, maybe an excellence award. Excellent. My year is something that's pretty close to my enthusiasm for horse racing, which is television coverage. During the week, the second screen announcement by Trackside, that there, as well as Trackside 1 and Trackside 2 continuing on Sky, where the negotiations came to an agreement again for further continuation, there will be a wall-to-wall feature race day channel, probably YouTube at this stage, for fans and punters to, I don't know, cash in on, enjoy. So it's perfect world for punters and fans going forward with Trackside 1, 2 and the second screen option. It's a must-do. It has been a while coming. Negotiations have suggested or have come about that it will be on the cards pretty shortly, so that's great news.
Time for weigh in to weigh out, Sheldon.
Yeah, don't mind this. Don't mind this. You don't have to think so much either, which probably suits me.
We've got this man in the middle, as always, Bruce Sherwin. Thanks to him as well. The Auckland Cup Carnival cometh. More on that, of course, next time on Weigh In.